It's Rob!
Tony! And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Inn. I'm Warshack, of course, or Rob if you want to call me that, and today we're going to be knocking out the Mid-Range Hunter 2.0 deck guide. The deck is doing very well on the ladder right now, really not that expensive to make, and it's pretty fun to play. It's not like Face Hunter where it's, one direction is the only direction. Mid-Range Hunter, you have to make those value trades. You got to think about it a little bit. You got to think about some stuff every once in a while, and Savannah Highmane's a beast as is. So, the deck list should be on the right-hand side. If this is left, then that's right. I don't know. You know where it is. You've seen my videos before. As always, we will be playing 3 ranked games, possibly winning all 3, talking about the deck and why we do what we do. So obviously in our opening hand, we're going to keep our web spinner, kind of get rid of everything else. We'll be able to coin into something big. If we can draw the Savannah Highmane again sometime, coining into it on turns 5 is fine, but holding it off on the bat is just not fine. And the curve we have right now is really fucking good. So right now we could coin in the Mad Scientist, but I think playing the Web Spinner is just probably, since we already have the 1 drop, you might as well throw it out there. I would say definitely we didn't have the Web Spinner, we'd coin out Mad Scientist, and if he plays like a Knife Juggler or his Mad Scientist, we would just quick shot it. But since we were able to make a, play a turn 1 card, and then we'll just go swing face with the Web Spinner. So yeah, since we had the Web Spinner, we definitely just don't want to waste coin for no reason. We actually can save that if we draw into like a Lothab on turn, Yeah, 4 Lothab, if need be. I don't know. It all depends what we draw. So, what is he going to do? So, he's obviously playing Tempo Mage. He's going to pull out a secret. We actually have Flare in our hand, so I think just using the Flare to get rid of that secret, just even if it's a mirror entity or an effigy, we kind of just want to get rid of it prior to it dropping. So, I really don't see a reason for us, not to use Flare right now. So, is it effigy or mirror? Okay, so it's a mirror. Attacking... We could actually attack our Web Spinner into the Flame Waker and then coin into our Quick Shot. I really just want to get rid of the Flame Waker. Sending it back to his hand is okay. It kind of gets rid of it for now, but I don't want him playing it at all. So we'll just get rid of it. And this guy, I believe his question was, how many? I'm running 1. Just 1. I was actually running 2 when we were seeing a lot of Secret Pallies, but not anymore. And the Dread skill came out of our Web Spinner, which is really nice. Okay, so I think Dread skill end our turn here. Obviously, when he attacks with his Water Elemental, it's just going to go back to his hand because we have the Frozen Trap out. And then we'll be able to swing for 4 next turn, and if anything, we can actually Houndmaster our Dread skill, or we can just throw down... Okay, so throw down our weapon and ping, or throw down our weapon and Creeper. It all depends on what he plays right here. So he's going to throw down the Lothab, so obviously we can't play spells, not that we had any in our hand anyway. I'm gonna probably throw down the weapon, throw down the creeper, swing for 4, and I'd probably attack with our weapon as well. There's not really a reason not to. I always tend to put 1 weapon charge in there just in case they have like Acidic Swamp Ooze or Harrison Jones. Not that those are played a ton anymore, but for the most part I keep my weapons at 1 durability. But sometimes depending on who you're going against, obviously you want to use your weapon to kill creatures, not so much face, but we're playing Hunter, we haven't put a ton of damage on him yet. It's about time we did something. So he's going to throw it on the Azure Drake. He's still got that Lothab on the field. If he goes face, wow, he's going face, which tells me he might have, okay, in the mirror image. Okay, so this tells me he might have some spells in his hand to really burn me down over the next couple turns. And this Hunter's Mark right here was huge. Because of the Dread scale out, we can actually Hunter's Mark either the Azure Drake or the Lothab, and then obviously when we end our turn, the Dread skill will kill it off. We're going to be able to kill both of the mirror entities, and only 1 card will remain on his side. We're obviously going to play the Savannah Highmane as well, since there's really no other thing to play on turn 6. It's fucking awesome is the Savannah Highmane. And the real question is, do we Hunter's Mark the Lothab or the Azure Drake? So if we get rid of the Azure, he doesn't have the spell damage, but if we get rid of the Lothab, he has the +1 attack. I don't really see a difference because when we end our turn, it's going to bring him either or down to 3 health, and we have our weapon to kill it off the following turn. Unfortunately, we can't kill it this turn because we have to there's no way without using a weapon durability. So we're going to attack into one of his mirrors, attack into the other, end our turn. It's going to kill his Lothab, and then bring his Azure Drake down to 3. So now we're going to be able to swing into it with our weapon if he doesn't, swing his Azure Drake into our Savannah Highmane, which I think he will. Normally, people want to kind of kill the Savannah Highmane as quick as possible, unless he's got a Flame Strike here. So you could actually Azure Drake into the Savannah Highmane and then Flame Strike, clearing my field completely. But then we have Dr. Boom next turn along with it. We're going to be able to kill his Azure Drake. So it's going to go kind of back and forth. And also, guys, if you want to kind of talk about the deck list, which I normally used to do inside of the game, we actually are going to do that after the games are over. So just keep in mind that's when we talk about the deck list, is after we play our 3 ranked games. Okay, so and he also has a legend card back, so he was a legend player at some point in time in his Hearthstone career, which is quite nice, knowing you beat decent, we're going to be able to beat a decent player. All right, so he's gonna play a water elemental, 3 mana left, frostbolt, fireball, flame cannon, arcane shot, frostbolt. Okay, so he's frostbolting face, so obviously I can attack with my weapon, and Azure Draking face as well. Wow, this guy's face is the place. He's real serious right now. So both creepers into his Azure Drake. Obviously, when we end our turn, we'll be able to kill that off with our Dread Skill ability once again. This beast. Dread Skill is doing work right now. I actually might throw him into this deck. There's no really point to Ironbeak right now. We could actually Houndmaster our Savannah Highmane. I think the Savannah Highmane would be best, because if he kills it, then we get our 2/2s out of it, which is the point. We really don't want him killing the Dread Skill off the bat. And then we can Quick Shot, or we can passive. Probably it's just going to passive and go face with everything. Get him down low. We're pushing lethal next turn. And then also his Azure Drake's going to die. He's got the Water Elemental. So yeah, so let's say he swings in with the Water Elemental. He freezes our Savannah Highmane, and then he kills it off. That would be ideal because of, yeah. Okay, so he's going to Frost or Fireball. So he obviously got rid of most of his burst, I'm assuming, because he already used his Frostbolt and a Fireball. So he'd only have 1 and 1 left. Flame Cannon, probably getting rid of the 2/2. Yeah, that's what most is on the field, 50% chance. And then he just conceded. Okay. So he would have to get rid of the Dread Scale, but then we still have Dr. Boom, Quick Shot, a weapon passive, and 2 creatures on the field. So I really didn't see him being able to come back there. We had a really nice opening hand. So getting the 1-2-3 curve is pretty insane. With this deck, that is. Some decks it may, even with a perfect curve, you still end up losing. But for the most part, if you're a Hunter deck and you have a nice curve, you win. It's just one of those decks that it really benefits from being able to play a creature every turn, because you just like swarm your opponent. Also, being able to flare early on was definitely really helpful. Dread Skill did amazing. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's a solid card. I actually want to throw it in the deck, but at the same time, it's just where do you find room for the Dread Skill? And also, it can actually work against you some of the time, depending on the situation. It just happened to work there, or work really well there. So we're gonna get rid of the Freezing Trap and Piloted Treader, keep the Animal Companion, of course, always keeping the Animal Companion, and it's a solid card.
Job's done.
Okay. So, double Animal Companion. Unfortunately, we don't have the coin, because coining out on Animal Companion on turn 2 and then playing it on turn 3 and then Houndmastering on turn 4 is an absolutely ridiculous thing to do, especially against a warrior if they don't have a weapon. So if you get like a Huffer and a Misha or something like that, ugh, it's disgusting. So he's going to Hero Power Up, nothing special with the warrior. We can assume he doesn't have the War Axe. We're going to use our Animal Companion, hoping for Huffer, getting Misha, the bear. I guess the bear is okay, because if he has the War Axe, he won't be able to kill the bear. But if he coins into Death's Bite, he'll be able to kill the bear. I'm assuming. If he has to think about coining into the Death's Bite, this warrior is very silly. Okay, so he's going to Taskmaster and then probably just execute. Yeah. So he's running Taskmasters, which tells me he's most likely not running Fatigue Warrior. He's running Control Warrior. I believe we're just going to Animal Companion again. If it's a Leok or whatever. Actually, Mad Scientist Ping. No. I think Animal Companion's good here. I don't think, yeah. So, okay, it's another Misha. Alright, the bear really wants to play. If it was a Leok, obviously we would have swung our Spider into his 2/2. And if it was a Huffer, we would have gone face. Unfortunately, Huffer would die the next turn, but whatever. So he's going to Shield Block, obviously confirming he's most likely playing Control Warrior. So unless he has like a War Axe here or a Shield Slam, he's not going to get past Misha, and then the following turn we're going to be able to Loatheb and or Mad Scientist into something else. It all depends on what he plays, really, in this situation. So I don't think you'd have another Execute for the Misha. So. Oh, wow, he does have another Execute. Wow, so he's used both Executes so far. Jeez. Alright, so I believe the Loatheb is okay here, but I think using the Houndmaster on our Spider right now, because if he draws the War Axe, it wouldn't die. But I guess we play Loatheb. And Loatheb's returning to my hand? What? What? What the fuck? Hello? Did he see that? It just returned the Loatheb to my hand, used my mana, and didn't play the card. What the fuck? If this is true, I'm gonna lose. If he confirms he sees this.
Greetings.
Let's just try to play him. I can't. We give that minion a turn. What are you talking about? I gave him a turn. If it does, if we ended our turn, it doesn't. Oh, okay. We're all good here. All right. I was about to say. I wonder if it showed up on history. Never mind. It fixed itself. Whew. I was about to say we were gonna definitely lose that. That was some. That wouldn't have been good. 5 mana for nothing. Okay, sounds like value. So we're actually gonna Houndmaster here, and then we could use the Hunter's Mark, but I don't see a reason to because it wouldn't really save us anything but taking the 3 damage from the Sledge Belcher, which we're probably just going to have to take anyway because we'll just attack with Loatheb. So it really doesn't do anything to Hunter's Mark as of now. We'll wait for like a different creature, maybe like Dr. Boom or something. And he's asking, we could Scientist, Ping, or Frozen Trap. I think pinging just to put the damage in to get the armor down is good because now he could have armored back up and wasn't able to kill something. Now he has to armor anyway. Yeah, he wouldn't have to armor to kill something. Now he only has 2 armor, so his Shield Slam wouldn't really do anything without being able to armor up, and that uses more mana, which only means he had 4, and he can't play a Shield main if that's what he wanted to do.
I have no time for games.
So he's gonna Sylvanas. Nothing on my field is going to die. We might actually just play the Frozen Trap. Well, I know I'm gonna play the Frozen Trap, and then we're semi-scared of Brawl, so I may not play Mad Scientist or Web Spinner. I'll just hold on to those, ping, and go face, or we could play Web Spinner. If Brawl does hit, then the Death Rattle from the Web Spinner will be fine. So I guess that's fine. The chances of it hitting Web Spinner are 25%. If it doesn't hit Web Spinner, we get the 2 spiders out of our Haunter Creeper anyway. And if he swings with his Sylvanas, even after that, it's going to get returned to his hand. So I think we're in an okay situation here. And this deck only runs 2 secrets, so playing the Mad Scientist kind of really, I guess it could have been better than the Web Spinner, but because we don't have any more high creatures in our hand, I was hoping the Web Spinner might give us something, like a 4 or 5 drop, maybe even bigger than that, but we'll see. So Dr. Boom, that's what I said we were kind of going to use our Hunter's Mark for. So I believe we're going to, what did he point into? A Whirlwind, okay. So what is his bombs going to do? Our Web Spinner's obviously going to die. Hopefully it doesn't kill off our, okay, so it looks like our Houndmaster's dead, but our Loatheb lived, and so did our Spider, which is fine. Okay, so like we said, okay, so we have the Freezing Trap down, which means we can kill the Boom. As long as we kill the Boom, his Sylvanas won't be able to attack. And I do see swinging, like we could kill Command in passive and attack with everything, and that'll be 15, putting him at 3 HP. But then that leaves a Boom on the field and all that shit, and he's going to be able to armor back up, and we have no burst potential after that without using our passive, and he can just counteract that with armor. And this is mid-range, so we don't have a ton of burst like Face does, so I think just getting rid of the Boom and making him, force the play of the Sylvanas attacking, or at least stalling it to attack, is decent right now. And then we could attack our Loatheb into the Dr. Boom or the Creeper, which I think the Creeper is the better play here. Even though the Loatheb only has 1 health and it's prone to like a Whirlwind or something, I don't find a reason. I don't think he's going to play another Whirlwind. That was very surprising. Yeah, I don't think he's going to play another Whirlwind. I just don't see it. And the fact that he played 1 Whirlwind, I mean, even a Revenge would make sense, but a Whirlwind, I don't think he's going to run 2 though. And we'll go face with Loatheb. Okay, so we're pushing lethal next turn. We've got the Frozen Trap down. So, like, our worst fear right now is still a Brawl. And then, like, let's say the Brawl hits and our Shredder lives, and then his Sylvanas would take our Shredder. But we still have Mad Scientist Ping in our hand, but he still has 13 health, and then the ability to get armor every turn, which obviously he's going to do without a doubt. So we'll just hope he doesn't have Brawl. I mean, even a Baron would almost clear our field. Yeah, either that. Even a Sledge Belcher would be kind of annoying. There's a lot of cards this warrior could play right now that would be, pretty bad for us.
What now?
But he wouldn't even attack with Sylvanas, yeah. So he'd have to play, it's either gonna taunt or it's gonna be like a Baron or a Hellscream. He's gonna swing with Hellscream? Wow. So he's gonna force the Frozen Trap onto Hellscream, making it so his Sylvanas can't attack. And then he's gonna take what, a 1/1? Of course it takes the fucking Shredder. Oh, of course it takes the Shredder. It couldn't take anything else. But I still think we're pushing lethal here because that's 4, that's 6, that's 5, that's 10. I think that's exactly lethal, yeah. So we're going to do 8, 7, kill command for 5, and then ping for 2. So even in best case scenario with the Sylvanas for him, still wasn't enough. Damn. Never lucky. Alright, so that's game number 2 with the mid-range hunter 2.0. We faced against a warrior and a mage. So maybe we'll go against probably a paladin. Paladin's very, very popular right now. I don't think I've seen a shaman or a rogue in like months. They're like deer. You just never see them. And if you do, they just scatter away and run. And if you do end up seeing it in your the only time you do end up seeing deer is if you're hunting deer and then you probably just kill the deer. Which the deer never runs, obviously.
Let the hunt begin.
Poor deer. Anyway. Getting rid of the Loatheb, kill command, and quick shot, keeping the Haunted Creeper, because the Haunted Creeper really does work against warriors, because they really don't want to they don't like using their weapons to kill something that generates more creatures that they're going to have to kill with their weapon. They like to kill a creature with their weapon right away, and then have, you know, there's nothing left, granting them some value. But the Haunted Creeper just generates more 1/1s. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Unless they have a Death Spite. And then that's just a sad Haunted Creeper. So I think I might coin into the Knife Juggler just because I kind of want to put some early game pressure on this warrior. Normally I would go with the Haunted Creeper first, and then play Knife Juggler second, and then attack Haunted Creeper into whatever he plays. But we know warriors don't really play any early game creatures. They only have weapons, so if he has the weapon, he won't attack the creeper, but he does have the weapon, he'd probably hold it and we'd know. Either way, we're going to have to... Yeah, either way, the Knife Juggler is going to come down sometime. So he does have the fiery, or the War Axe, so it's going to kill the Knife Juggler. Poor Knife Juggler. The following turn, we're going to play Haunted Creeper. I really don't see, yeah, it would be a Mad Scientist if we had one, but obviously Haunted Creeper's fine. So if we would have played Haunted Creeper first, he probably would have armored up, and then he would have played Weapon this turn after we played Haunted Creeper. So either way, our Knife Juggler would have died sometime. So if he wow, the fact that he's targeting my face right now with the Fiery War Axe tells me that he's going to, he has a Death Spite in his hand or another War Axe, because normally you'd never waste the charge unless he's just bluffing right now, making me think he's got an extra weapon. He could actually attack my creature, I don't know. If he goes face, he definitely has a War Axe. If he attacks my creature, he may not have the War Axe. He just wants to pop it so it can't get Houndmastered if he's scared of the Houndmaster, but I already used my coin. So we went face, which tells me he has a War Axe, so he's going to passive, KK. And next turn, we can expect the Death Spite, which means we're looking for a Huffer. Animal Companion, give me a Huffer. It gives me a fucking Misha again. Not that I don't like you, Misha, but I am looking for Huffer. That is the, like, most of the time, it's like 75% of the time, and there's the Death Spite. You're looking for a Huffer. So he's going to take 4 to the face, but if we would have had Huffer, he would have been at 20 health, because we would have attacked right away with the Huffer. So we can Animal Companion one more time, looking for Huffer. There he is. How you doing, Huffer? How you doing? So we're going to swing with that 4, swing for 1, and now I can assume, depending on what he has in his hand, like if he has a Taskmaster or a Whirlwind or something, so he's going to attack Spider, the Whirlwind's going to hit the little Spiderlings, our Huffer's going to be left at 1 health. So I mean, an Execute, an Armor Up, Shield Slam, a Taskmaster. There's a lot of things that'll kill this Huffer right now. He's obviously not going to keep it up. So a Revenge, that seems to be more popular in the Control Warrior decks now that the Whirlwind, you know, is kind of not, I mean, it's there, but it's not as there. Wow, this turn is kind of dry. Web Spinner into passive. Unfortunately, this is pretty much all we can do. The following turn is obviously going to be Savannah Highmane, and the following from there is going to be Dr. Boom, and we got Kill Command in Hunter's Mark just in case he plays, you know, a Dr. Boom, a Sledge Belcher. Turn 6 for Warriors either going to be probably a Shield Maiden or an Emperor Tharzan or a Shield. Okay. I'm going to throw down a Sledge Belcher, or, you know, say Sledge Belcher, but it looks like Emperor, which is fine, because now we can just Hunter's Mark that, pop the Web Spinner. Let's see what we get out of a Web Spinner probably prior to playing the Haunted Savannah Highmane, just in case it's something really good. Yeah, not so much. The Stone Tusk Boar with the 1/1 charge. Charge! Okay, so lives in a pineapple. He plays True Heart. Okay. So he's going to armor her up for 4, which means this game has to end relatively soon, guys, because once, you know, a warrior gets that... Wow, we have a lot of damage in our hand. We have 2 kill commands and a Savannah Highmane equaling to 16 damage, putting him at 4... No, we're not going to do that. We're going to kill off that, play our boar, passive, swing for 6, swing for 1. We could have brought him down to like 6 health, but then we have no potential to burst, and we have a Savannah Highmane that's pretty open. We actually could have played Boom and then attacked into it with the Savannah Highmane, but then we're prone to Brawl, and that would have been really bad if like a bomb lives and nothing else. So this is kind of a little bit safer play, because if Savannah Highmane lives, that's great. If it doesn't, then we still get 2/2s and keep a 1/1, and the 1/1 can generate us another beast, and then there's Dr. Boom still to follow up on the turn along with the kill command. So this just has more situational, you know, awareness, like not awareness, but you know, it can keep pumping as we don't want to blow our load all at once, and that sounds really good. Even though he was able to Baron get and clear our field anyway, this was not so good. So we actually have a pretty hard decision to go by here. If we play the beast, yeah, there's just Dr. Boom. Unfortunately, our Dr. Boom, I can just see him, you know, big game hunter, or just using his Baron to attack the Boom, and then, you know, clearing the 1/1 since they're really not that big of a deal. Him gaining 4 armor every turn is also not good, because he's super sustained. So he's going to shield slam the Boom. It's going to have 3 left. Wow, the Blackwing Corruptor. I did not see the Dragon Warrior coming in, guys. I didn't see this. Wow. So the bomb's going to go face for 2 and hit the Baron for 3. Okay. All right, so we don't want to play the beast yet, or we could play the beast. We obviously need to kill the Baron. The Baron needs to die. We would have left it there. It's just too much damage. We could Eagle Horn Bow to kill the 5/2, or we can just play Savannah Highmane and it'll summon 2 2/2s. I guess we could have pinged an Eagle Horn, but that really doesn't put anything on the field. At least this way, there's 2 2/2s that come out of this. And he'll probably, if he's really greedy, he'll go face. I would definitely kill this Savannah Highmane if I was him. So he's going to Big Game Hunter, which actually saves us because our 9/7, oh wow, he did go face. So now our Savannah Highmane can actually swing into his 3/6, killing that off. And now we can actually play the Beast without, you know, having to worry about Big Game Hunter, which was really silly of him. He got extremely greedy. I guess he thought once the Boom is out, I wouldn't have got the Beast. So I guess that's not a terrible play, but it's just unfortunate that I have this 9/7 now. So yeah, I think the 9/7, the Eagle Horn Bow to kill off his 5/2, and obviously we just have to hope to God he doesn't have 2 extra damage, but he's a warrior, so they don't really have burst more so than like a just control deck. I mean, we play a lot of control warrior, and I'm actually in the midst of building a fatigue warrior deck, so definitely know that they do not have the burst unless, you know, they have a weapon or something. But, so we'll kill off the 5/2. We play their 9/7, so it's kind of, he could I don't even know what he could do. We have the potential to draw another card with Flare as well. So he swings his 4/2 into our Savannah Highmane. He armors up, shield slams our 9/7, gets a 3/3. We're stuck with 2 2/2s. We flare. Okay, so Savannah Highmane, or he Sylvanas the Windrunners. He's gonna armor up. He's gonna kill our Savannah Highmane, which was part of one plan, and it's our turn. So I'm pretty sure we should just go face here. So drawing into Quick Shot, Lothab. So that actually might be a little bit helpful here, because he won't be able to, you know, shield block into more cards. It Execute's going to cost him a fuck ton if he uses that. Shield Slam's going to cost him a lot. So I think Lothab's Spider swing for face is decent. I mean, I guess if he has Brawl, it costs 10 mana, and that'd be really fucking bad. But yeah, it'd be pretty bad because our Beast would die. We'll just assume that. It gives him a 3/3, or we keep our 2/2, his Sylvanas dies. So you get like a 3/3 and a 2/2 out of Brawl. But he would be put at 3 health. So we could hopefully just draw into something. Yeah. So we'll just go face, and we will just assume he does not have 1 damage, and he doesn't have Brawl. I think if he had Brawl, he would have used Brawl already. Or maybe he was waiting for the Sylvanas play. I don't know. If he uses Brawl, we still get 2 1/1s, and we can still passive. Or no, he could kill it and then Brawl. That'd be smart. Oh, fuck. He does have Brawl. So that's 10 mana Brawl, which means he can't armor up, which means if we do anywhere between, you know... Okay, what's going to live? His Sylvanas live? What the fuck? Alright. Oh, Eagle Horn Bow. That worked out well. So we actually... That was kind of a top deck. I'll give it to him. Sorry that happened. He doesn't realize he lost yet when he said sorry that happened. Well, anyway, that was quite nice. I'm glad we were able to pick up that 3rd win there. I was kind of getting worried because getting 2 wins in a row and then losing that 3rd game at the very end to a top deck, I mean, come on. That would have been pretty devastating on my end. We'd have been, oh, okay, so restart the video, back to doing video number, or game number 1 to 1 win. So there's our 3 ranked wins with this. Now we're going to talk about the deck a little bit. If you want to just leave now because you got to see the deck, you've seen how I play it, and you got the deck list on the right, go ahead. But for those of you who kind of wanted for me to talk about each card individually and why I have it in the deck, we'll talk about that now. So for those of you leaving us, I'm Rob and happy whatever the hell day it is. And for those of you saying, hey, how's it doing? How's it doing? How's it going? So we are running 1 Hunter's Mark, not 2 Hunter's Marks, because 2 is too many, 1 is just enough. This isn't a face Hunter deck, this is a mid-range deck, so keep in mind it's played a little bit slower. For the I said a lot in the past couple minutes, so I'll try to work on that. So I'm just going to leave it with 1's enough, 2's too much as of now. If you find yourself playing a ton of druids and they're playing, the Ancient of Wars, the Ancient of Lores, you're playing a lot of, some of the bigger creatures against some of the big classes that play the bigger creatures, 2 Hunter's Mark is fine. Web Spinner, this card is absolutely just fantastic in my opinion. It gives you a random beast when it dies, and it's worked out quite well for me in the past. I mean, King Crush can be one of those beasts, and that'll win you a lot of games. Surprisingly, also Web Spinner can be used with Houndmaster, and just it always going 1 for 1 is great. Running 1 Flare, I actually ran 2 of these for a while, and then since the Secret Paladins have kind of calmed down, I've only, I said so much. I'm sorry, guys. Let me get a drink. This is the problem. Okay. So I used to run 2 flares, like I said, and then 1's enough right now, because if you play those classes who don't run secrets, you're at a really big disadvantage. Even though it is a 2-mana draw 1, for the most part in the mid-range, you're looking to play a creature or stopping your opponent from playing a creature every single turn. If you can't play a creature, turn 1's not as big, but if you can't play a creature on turn 2, or at least deny them a creature with quick shot on turn 2, playing a creature on turn 3 is way too late. So you're always mulliganing, or using your mulligan to get that mad scientist in your open your hand, your knife jugglers, your quick shots, your haunted creepers, and your web spinners. If you don't get one of those, at least hope you can coin into that animal companion, because if not, this deck, as you can see, is very mid-game oriented, hence the mid-range hunter. I actually am running the freezing trap here. I might change the freezing trap out. I might run 1 freezing and then 1 bear trap, so just keep that in mind. You don't actually have to run 2 freezing traps. I found that if you go against Druid a lot, which I've been, when they attack into you with the Darnassus Aspirant, you actually give them a free wild growth, because the Darnassus Aspirant goes back to their hand, allowing them to keep that extra mana crystal, because the Death Rattle never triggers from that card and they never lose it. It just returns your hand. It'd be the same as silencing it. So, yeah, it doesn't really work out that great against Druid using Freezing Trap. But if you play against like a Handlock, Freezing Trap is fantastic, because then, they play their 8/8 and then it returns back to their hand, and then, they don't play a ton of creatures for the most part. It's Void Caller, Twilight Drake, and their Giants. So it all depends who you're playing against. Running 2 quick shots, this is obviously 2 mana for 3 damage, and if you have no cards in hand, you draw 1 card, which is absolutely insane. So it's a Dark Bomb with an extra ability. Definitely run 2 of those. Haunted Creeper, we've seen this in almost it's a lot of our our early to mid game decks. I mean, it generating out 2/1/1s when it dies, and it only being a 2-drop. So this combos well with Knife Juggler. So let's say you have Haunted Creeper on turn, you can coin out Haunted Creeper on turn 1, play Knife Juggler on turn 2, attack something with your Haunted Creeper. It does 1 damage, and the Knife Juggler then has the potential to deal 2 more damage. So you normally want to use that when they play another Knife Juggler, or a card with 2 health or less. But when they play a card with 3 health, depending on that Knife Juggler, to hit that card twice is kind of iffy, but if it just has to hit it once, if it has 2 health, that's fine. Ironbeak Owl, I'm just running 1 of these guys, because running 2 again just seems to be too much right now. Again, if I see myself playing a lot of decks where I need to silence something, I'll throw in a second one, but I don't think I've ever, with this deck yet, been like, oh man, a second Ironbeak would really help me out here, unless on those situational occasions where it would only work well in this one circumstance, as in, a Web Spinner being good always on turn 1, or always whenever you can fit, that 1 drop in. So there's a difference between like a card being good 80% of the time versus a card being good, in that 5 to 10% of the time, where it happens and it'd be great there. But I mean, having something else for the most part will, you know, overall be better in the deck than running something only good sometimes. Not that Iron Beak isn't a good card, but again, situational. Running 2 Knife Jugglers, not even going to go over that. Running 2 Mad Scientists, not even going to go over that. Those 2 cards are fucking broken. Eaglehorn Bow, again, one of those cards that's absolutely insane. It's a 3-drop, 3/2 weapon, and every time one of your traps goes, it gives you a durability. So, I mean, this with Mad Scientist that pulls the secrets out of your deck for free, you can't argue. Kill Command, I mean, most of these cards are just very standard in a mid-range hunt. There's nothing extraordinary, like nothing out of the ordinary in this deck. Besides maybe, you know, the 1 Iron Beak, 1 Iron Beak, 1 Hunter's Mark, or the 1 Houndmaster, but... Okay, so the Animal Companion, obviously a staple. Kill Command is a staple. The Unleash the Hounds Knife Juggler combo has always been good. It will probably always be good. So just make sure you play Knife Juggler prior to playing the Call to Unleash the Hounds, because doing it in the reverse would just be bad. Houndmaster, you remember, you can equip this to any of your beasts, and it gives them 2/2 and Taunt. It's not just 2/2. I've seen some players kind of make the misconception of it only buffs them. No, it gives them Taunt as well, which, as we've seen in our previous game, we used it on our Savannah Highmane. So they had to, you know, make sure they kill that Savannah Highmane, and then when they do, it summons more little beasts. So always good there. 2 Piloted Shredders, this is just a fantastic 4-drop. I think we actually have a video discussing why it's the best golden common to get, so I'll actually throw that into the annotation to our left if you want to watch that. The Lothab, again, if by turn 5 you got, you know, 2 or 3 creatures on the field, you feel like, you know, it's a mage, it's a freeze mage, or it's a rogue, and you're scared they're going to wipe the field, you Lothab, it stops them for a turn, you're able to pick up the win the following turn if you've got the, you know, the burst damage in your hand. And also being a Lothab with a being at 5/5 is pretty good stats. Savannah Highmane, this is an absolute staple in the mid-range hunter. This is probably one of the best 6-drops besides Mysterious Challenger. It even probably competes with that, because the rule is with Savannah Highmane, if you attack to their face 1 time, Savannah Highmane can make contact with their face for 6 damage 1 time, you will win the game. Like 95%. It's like a Savannah Highmane rule. I don't know where the fuck the rule came from, but people all over the place, even the streamers, are like, that's the rule. Savannah Highmane hits face once, you win. So there you go. And then Dr. Boom, of course, I've actually made a golden Dr. Boom now. He's quite nice, he's quite shiny, and I love it. All the bombs do 4 damage now because he's gold. I'm just playing, they actually do probably less damage now because it's like, oh, you have a golden Dr. Boom, fuck you. Less damage on bombs. Anyway, so if you don't have Dr. Boom yet, I would definitely say craft him as your like #1 legendary to get. Let's say you know you're building a tempo mage and you want to build Archmage or something. Fuck Archmage. Build Dr. Boom first. If you do not have Dr. Boom, that should be #1 over any other card. Dr. Boom, and then work on everything else. I'd hate to say that because, you know, cards being that broken kind of, you know, disrupt the flow of a game where you only, you know, you're focusing on always playing Dr. Boom on turn 7. You're always focusing on crafting Dr. Boom if you don't have him. But it's just one of those cards where he's really just too good not to. So with that said, I appreciate all of you watching and all of you leaving comments and liking and, you know, supporting the channel in general. It's great to see, you know, it growing at the pace it is. When I first started, you know, videos only getting, you know, less than 100 views. It's kind of hard to keep the motivation going. But now that things are picking up a bit, it's really nice to see that, you know, my videos are actually helping you guys, which is all the more reason for me to continue doing what I do. So, with all of this said, thank you for stopping by the inn, everybody. I am so happy you're here, and happy whatever the hell day it is.